Okay.
It's way cooler to use that, Noah.
Noah, don't act like you're not impressed when I do that. Okay.
I'm a little impressed. I started recording.
Okay.
Not officially started yet, just when the recording
Okay,
started.
that's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Trailer Take, Episode 1. My name is Josh, and you are?
Noah.
Zupon.
All right. So we're going to get started here. Noah's decided he wants to start us off here, so what's our topic today?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I had a normal upbringing. I lived in the same town as all of you. We all went to high school together.
To a degree.
My hobbies include drinking on the weekend, writing music when I'm bored,
Great American pastime.
and playing video games, and doing research on random topics.
And that's why we're here today.
Sounds great.
What about you, Zupon?
I'm just I'm a constitutionalist at heart. It's kind of my biggest thing I care about is I just want the rights. The little piece of paper says, I like to drink on the weekends, American pastime, and play video games. And, it's gonna go into Space Force possibly pretty soon here.
If that actually kicks off.
That actually
which
kicks
it
off.
quote-unquote has, but don't matter.
All right,
Why
I know
don't you
you're...
tell us about yourself a little bit here, Josh?
I like cars, I like guns, and I like freedom.
I also like guns and
It's a
freedom.
triple threat.
That's it.
They want to get rid of you.
I know they do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zupon,
That's the
I
You're
know-
on a list.
I'm on the list.
I know you're a constitutionalist, but have you heard of the Libertarian Party candidate this year?
I haven't actually.
Mm.
You know a bit more
That's a good
about
one.
her. Can you explain
So-
to him? I'll look her up, but you explain.
The Libertarian nominee for this year's election, Jo Jorgensen. She's something else. Kind of ballsy, because though her websites may not show it, she's full for abolishing basically every gun law in the books. A quote from her is, I believe every American citizen should have access to the same weaponry the government does.
She said weaponry.
Weaponry.
So
Notice the
tanks,
language.
jets-
Tanks.
Someone
It's all-
legitimately,
it's all on
someone
there.
asked her, like, "Are you okay with me owning like tanks?" She's like, "Yes, you should be allowed to own tanks."
Tell me why I can't.
Listen, Donald, you're gonna have to step it up here because there's a new kid on the block.
She's taking my vote, man. She's taking my vote. This will be the first. Why don't the liberals like her? This will be the first woman president.
She, honestly, and regardless of her policies, I don't care if she's a woman or not, because I agree with everything she has to say, basically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about any. Like, I'm not against having a woman president. It's
Of
just
course
like
not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
has to be like
Totally
someone like
reasonable.
this.
Totally reasonable.
She's charismatic.
Honestly,
She cares. She's a bit of a nationalist. I know that's a bad word now, but I don't mind.
ooh,
That's great.
nationalism.
Yeah, she wants to pull us out of other countries and whatnot.
Wait a minute. We're not supposed to police them anymore?
Oh no,
Oh.
No.
America World Police. No, she doesn't want America World Police, and she wants us to have rocket launchers. So I'm all for it.
That sounds like a fun America. That sounds pretty great to me.
Yep.
How's she doing?
Wait, what was it? It's
Is this like a meme, or is she... Is this like Rat
Well,
Lord?
She's not a Republican or a Democrat, so it's basically already over. This is America's two-party system, but
Listen, you gotta pick a party. I mean, you don't pick a party, you lose, unfortunately.
This is what she has to say about taxes. Taxes are never voluntary. They are always paid under threat of punishment. If you fail to pay what government says you owe, you can be fined, have your wages garnished, assets seized, even go to prison. Voting for more government spending inevitably leads to higher taxes to pay for it. Now, or in the future, as president, I will work tirelessly to slash federal spending, make government much, much smaller, and let you keep what you earn.
it's true. Yeah. No, I mean, what's unreasonable about that?
Absolutely
I've
nothing.
always said that government spending has been one of the biggest issues.
It is the biggest issue.
But yeah, it's kind of like you, Zupon. She's kind of a constitutionalist. And
I wish that everyone was, honestly. I'm sure whatever party you were in, you think that everyone should just be your party, but... I mean, it shouldn't even be a party. It should just be what everyone is. And then you should go from there.
Yeah.
But we're not... It's not us anymore.
Yeah. No.
Zupon. Oh, excuse me. This is what she has to say about trade and immigration.
About what
The freedom-
immigration?
Trade and immigration.
Sorry, I was burping.
Slow down.
I was burping, my bad.
No, come on.
The freedom to trade and travel are fundamental to human liberty. As American citizens, we should be free to travel anywhere we choose and to buy and sell anywhere in the world. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to eliminate trade barriers and tariffs and work to repeal arbitrary arbitrary quotas on the number of people who can legally enter the United States to work, visit, or reside.
So that's the thing. I was watching one of her interviews today, actually, and her thing was that the free market isn't the free market; it's corporatism. So she wants the true free market to be in place, which is great.
That's a huge battle.
It is a huge battle,
But
that's one of her things, which is cool.
The only problem is, if I'm understanding this last sentence right, on the number of people who can legally enter the United States to work, visit, or reside. So she's trying to make legal immigration here way easier.
Legal.
Yeah, legal.
Yes,
it's still legal, but I don't know.
That might be one thing I probably disagree with.
That can be debatable.
Yeah, that's debatable.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's not right now. You have to wait months.
Well, it's a hard problem. Okay, so
it's too difficult.
I think the logic there is, as you guys know, it's really difficult to become a citizen legally.
Yeah.
It's a long, arduous process. So it's easier to just hop the fucking border.
Yeah.
So I think her logic there is, hey, I'm going to make it easier for you to legally enter this country so you don't have to hop the border.
You know, I know a lot of people who came here legally, and you know, when I talk to them, I'm half expecting them to be like, yeah, just let everybody in. They're the most hardcore opposed to people I've ever seen in my life. Like, if we and our parents had to go through the whole process to come here correctly, then how come they get to come here and get benefits?
Exactly.
It's really hard to argue with that one.
Yeah, I was looking into like third-party candidates and all that because I was curious. And I was talking to a guy who was a supporter of the Green Party, and I never really looked much into the Green Party or its candidates. So I asked him to send me some information.
Okay.
And he sent me, this looks like their candidate for president and vice president. And just look at these policies right here: economic bill of rights, job guarantee, income guarantee, $20 minimum wage, homes for all,
high-speed rail.
That's the best one. I agree with
California.
that one. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Just keep giving them the taxes, and it'll get done.
Totally. We'll have a really cool train, guys. It'll be all worth it.
Yes.
Like already highways.
Okay, so here's honestly, we have 100% clean energy by 2030. We have 75% military spending cut during peacetime.
Yeah, peace policies.
We have a $20 minimum wage. We have homes for all. How does that work? Who's gonna build that?
Yeah, where are those coming from?
Who pays for that?
Yeah, just print more money, idiot. God. The only thing I can get down with is, I don't know about 75%, but cutting some military funding.
Like,
we spend the most on the military in the entire world.
Hold on.
So cutting it a little bit.
The issue isn't the money we spend on the military. The issue is the money we spend on the military-industrial complex.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yep.
That is the problem.
That's true.
We're throwing lives away because they're corrupting people to into fighting endless wars so they can sell bombs and guns and stuff.
That's true.
The military needs the money so we can have the biggest stick to tell China to go away. But other than that, I think just cut out the military.
That's a whole topic.
Yeah.
Military-industrial complex.
I keep reading these and it keeps pulling my attention of how
nuclear disarmament.
Scary.
Good luck.
Can someone tell me define green manufacturing for me?
I think what they mean by green manufacturing is they want less pollutive factories like coal plants. Like, you know how coal power, I think they probably don't want coal power.
All right, so last question.
Yeah, okay.
What is the Civilian Conservation Corps?
Corps. Good question.
Why does it scare me?
We'll look that.
That sounds like some.
I feel like we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, we'll just look this one up, and I guess we'll move on. It's getting way too political.
Corps.
Yeah, but that sounds like something out of like a dystopian novel. Was a voluntary public work relief program operated from 1933 to 42 in the U.S. for unemployed, married, unmarried men, ages 18 to 25. Yeah, what was it for?
I'm thinking this is like a Hoover situation.
Is this like a job creation
like
scheme?
A Great Depression, how to survive it thing going on?
It's all, whenever I look it up and like looking at for like what it means in the modern day, I keep getting brought back to the Green New Deal.
Yeah, so
it has something to do with the Green New Deal.
If you can't just put something on there and I can just define it, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, so Another thing I want to talk about, you were talking about this earlier, Noah. The thing with the two people and their guns outside their home. Talking about?
We're talking about that?
What is going on with that? Because when I first saw that, I assumed it was a bunch of hicks who were just telling people to go away.
No.
What exactly is going on there?
So from what I heard, there was a protest going on, and the protesters walked up. It was they're in like a gated community.
Okay.
Outside are signs saying, "Don't, you'll be trespassing if you break in." You know,
community.
it's private property, gated community. So they broke down the gates, like they destroyed them.
Oh.
Their photos.
Their photos.
Okay.
And they just walked up onto their property, and they saw this, so they went.
They walked up onto their property.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
not only into the gated community, but onto their driveway, I believe.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, and they walked up there, and they're holding their guns, and they were telling them to get back and all that. Yeah, they're doing their Second Amendment right. It's their right to protect the property. These people are walking up on it. They're trespassing. Only issue is the guy's wife does not have trigger discipline.
She doesn't. She was
pointing,
directly pointing at people.
I don't know if they were saying something to threaten her life.
If they were, then it's justified. If not, then that's assault.
Yeah.
But we don't know because we don't know what all those protesters were saying.
A bunch of vandals come up to after entering into your area illegally, and there's a mob.
Yep.
I think the least of the priorities is that she was pointing a gun back at them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But she shouldn't have been doing that. Keep the guns in the air unless someone's going to go down.
Well, yeah, the man wasn't too much better, but he wasn't pointing it right at people. He was just holding the gun.
Kind of weird.
He could have done it better, but he was well within his right to do what he did. And it's Illinois, or I don't remember the state that they were in. I do recall that they are a castle doctrine state, so that means if the party that's entered your property had noticed that they were trespassing, you can just...
St. Louis,
Missouri. Yeah, so... Castle Doctrine State.
Look at this.
Yep.
Look at this.
Oh my God!
Yep.
I like, you know what I like? I like how he has her in the front lines. And he's back there. He's going to be able to drop at least 20 of them before they get to him.
Yeah. This is CNN.
Keep in mind, by the way, they don't tell you this. Both those people are lawyers.
Oh,
Are you aware of that?
I'm not.
Both of them.
Look at the way she's holding it too. Like
yeah. Yeah. So
my
illegally,
question is, why do they come to these people's houses in particular? They came to this house in particular, and they're not leaving.
Why are you protesting on someone's property in a gated community?
Yeah.
The best part about this, though, were all the memes that come from this.
Oh, man, they're good memes.
There's some pretty good
ones. Like I said, when I first saw that meme, I assumed Hicks saw some protesters just peacefully walking around, pulled out guns because they were worried they weren't peaceful. There's a lot of them aren't, That's what I kind of thought in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole thing. I don't understand why this has been such an issue.
It's probably been like 30 minutes now.
That's the shot.
That's the shot right there.
Shot.
Look at that. Look at them. They're ready.
Has it been 30 minutes in the video yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just look at some of these. Josh put these up in post.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have some ones of them. Yeah, they're boomers. It's funny. No, I haven't seen that. That's good. I'm going to put that one on.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to put that one on. Show people that.
Yeah, but anyway, it's been... It's been so exaggerated and blown out of proportion. I don't understand, because both of those people were in their legal right to have firearms.
Imagine what's going to happen when someone's forced to use it.
Exactly. If those protesters were armed, shots would have been fired. Absolutely, and it would have been justified on their part, because, again, trespassing.
The media would have just blown it up.
The media would have... Oh, man, they've already blown it up.
Yeah,
And no shots were fired.
Yeah. We'd be so polarized right now. I mean...
Implying that the country isn't already polarized?
Even more, though.
Okay.
They're trying to, I've told you guys my theory on the Boogaloo Boys.
Yeah. No, we've been through that.
I think it's all... fake in the sense that they took something that used to be a meme that could emerge one day, and they just totally distorted it. We're gonna have a Boogaloo Boy do something
Hawaiian
horrible.
Shirt.
We're gonna have someone in a Hawaiian shirt do something horrible, and it's gonna be pretty bad. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's unfortunate this will never go on air then.
And he's right outside the trailer.
Anyway.
Yes, we are in fact recording this in a trailer.
This is the trailer
trailer.
The trailer take, yes.
Yeah.
An undisclosed location.
Yes.
In the middle of the
somewhere
desert.
in Alaska.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, you want to live in Alaska?
Yeah.
in the prairies of
Can you handle that? It's really
Oklahoma?
cold.
I feel like I can handle cold to extent.
What's the
but
coldest
I'm
weather you've
pretty-
ever been in?
Back when I
Did
did
it s-
drum corps.
Did it start with a minus?
No, never been in -degree weather. But the coldest I've ever been was when I did drum corps my rookie season. We had a rehearsal somewhere up in the Midwest, I think near Indiana. And it was just I don't know how cold it was. It was, I want to say, around 25. And I did not, and all I had was just like my jacket, but I didn't bring any like sweatpants. I was wearing shorts and a jacket. So
If you're native there, that's what you do.
I know.
25 is shit.
I'm a California boy, and we were all from California, so we're all freezing our asses off as we're trying
Yeah,
to.
I was not
funny.
born in, for the record, not born in California.
Maybe that's why you're more, you're better in other weather.
Yeah,
'Cause,
maybe
like,
that's
I love
why.
the cold.
Because like I don't like I can survive the cold, but I usually prefer it to be just like a little warm.
I don't know. No, I think you're
I can go
too
with that.
thin to survive in cold weather. I don't think you have the build for it.
What do you mean? I'm heavier than you.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 220. How much do you weigh?
Not 220.
How much do you weigh? Set the record straight.
Maybe 185 tops. How do you weigh 220?
I only weigh 240.
I think we've gone down to 210. I think last I checked. I think I'm losing weight.
Okay, next
again.
episode there will be a scale because I just
We'll
don't
bring a
believe
scale.
We'll
that.
bring a scale on set.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. President, I don't believe you've weighed yourself. I'd like to see the numbers.
How much does Trump weigh?
Do it.
Let's look that up.
It's probably
Well, let's take a guess and see who can get closest.
251.
Okay, Noah, without going over, by the way. Okay.
So what'd you say?
251.
Don't hit enter
Don't
yet.
you do it?
I know. I'm waiting. I'm gonna say 275.
264.
Okay.
It's not going to be in here.
It's hidden information.
Scroll down.
Go
Go back to Google.
Yeah, this is not.
Also 27. Donald Trump. Well, hold on. Donald Trump weighs 236 to 267 pounds. Okay, that's literally the span of our guesses.
There's not an
That's not a
exact
definitive-
number on it.
More
Nope.
likely around.
You know what we
250.
can get an exact number on? How tall is Trump?
6'1".
6'3".
Oh,
Whoa.
6'3".
He's a tall guy.
He's taller than me. Obama was smaller. 6'1".
Mike Pence is 5'10".
Mike Pence is
5'10".
literally a manling. He's
Manly.
5'10".
You're like a woman. Sorry.
No. we'll cut that out.
There are girls who are into the guys shorter than them.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know the old joke of
Few
like
and far in
if
between,
he's
though.
5'11" versus 6 foot, you know the old
Huge
meme.
difference.
It is actually.
A good name.
Well, I will say that I have a buddy. He's about 4 feet tall, and I remember one day he's really short. I remember one day my dad was on a stepladder of just a foot, and I was like, "Wow, you're so much taller than me." And then I thought about my friend, who I'm almost 2 feet taller than,
Whoa.
and I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that's a whole other world, ladies and gentlemen."
Oh yeah.
Did you guys hear about Reddit banning the Donald subreddit?
Among other things.
Among 200 more
200,
subreddits.
200 plus.
Yeah.
200 plus.
Yeah.
200 plus subreddits.
They're all right-leaning, I guess, if you want to say
Right-leaning and not even some that weren't too right-leaning. I heard even some that weren't too right-leaning were usually at least somewhat critical of the BLM movement, the Black
Exactly.
Lives Matter movement.
Mhm.
that. Doesn't fit the narrative, it's gone.
So speaking of not fitting the narrative, you guys remember those two doctors who spoke on YouTube and they got banned off YouTube
About COVID-19.
about the COVID?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Really?
Yeah.
It was huge.
I
Enlighten
heard
me.
echoes of this.
Can
I don't
you?
know
I mean,
much about
I saw their thing. Basically, they're like, I forget the exact terminology here, but they're basically managers. They're also doctors of like 13 plus hospitals. So
Okay.
they're like major doctors. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's a whole
important.
bunch of doctors under them. It's a whole big thing like that. And they were just talking about COVID statistics.
Sure.
And YouTube removed them.
YouTube removes a lot of things. I mean,
It was-
it was 2000.
it. It was
You're right.
2,000 subreddits.
Wow.
Racist, quote unquote,
Well,
and violent,
Remember
quote
when
unquote.
China bought Reddit?
That's what they don't want you
I
to
bet
know.
you this article will not show the list, though.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna look. Reddit's banned subreddits list is highly disturbing. I'm gonna look at this.
Yeah, it's censorship. Yeah, I dislike Reddit, but it's still censorship.
r/jailbait. Okay.
No, why don't you talk about that one?
Maybe.
Yeah, Jane, pull it up.
What was the other for next episode? Maybe. Maybe that's. Do you think that's probably a good one?
Probably.
Well, this page is a long lifespan, despite the fact it featured provocative images of underage
Let me
teens.
ask you this:
It was voted subreddit of the year in 2008 by users.
were they nude?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Were there sexual acts depicted?
Probably they're like lewdish situations, but nothing like sexual.
Well, it's
My
not
last question
pornographic.
is-
I don't care.
Why do you have an answer for all these questions?
That's also a good question.
They
R
got rid
beating
of
woman.
r/the fappening.
2014 of August. This is a day I'll always remember. I think it was the 23rd.
I'm remembering a song here.
I remember when
Let
it
it
happened.
die, let it die.
So,
I remember that day. You tell it though. You know it much better.
4chan.org/B, the random board.
Oh,
There was a group of hackers, if you will, that had cracked the iCloud password of one Jennifer Lawrence and retrieved many, many nude photographs. And
do not look up Jennifer Lawrence naked.
Don't look that up.
It's bad. Seriously,
good.
it's not cool to her. All right.
Don't do it. They're all
It's not
posted on
right.
4chan. It was the most legendary thread of its day.
I remember I woke up, and like it was summer, and it was only summer vacation I think.
Man.
I wake up, check 4chan, go on B. I'm like, what is this pinned thread?
It has 1,000 replies. Whoa.
And then I was like, holy shit! I remember I went to your house not too long after.
Oh, dude.
He didn't come out for a couple hours for some reason, but
I did not download any of those images.
I didn't either, but God, I mean, it kind of sucks for them, but like,
No, it feels bad if you're Jennifer Lawrence. Because, like,
yeah. I mean, as teenagers, it was a very exciting day, but
hilarious.
but I mean, for them, it definitely sucked.
No, it feels bad.
I mean,
if you're
she
Jennifer
has-
Lawrence, you're an actress.
just because she's a public figure doesn't mean she has an expectation for privacy.
Oh, absolutely. And
100%.
because Hunger Games had come out a couple years prior, if I'm not recalling.
Jennifer Lawrence was still pretty big at the time because Hunger Games
Absolutely.
was coming out.
So this is
She was coming out.
So this is during like the apex of her acting career. So that it just felt really bad because her public opinion kind of went down
No
a
Disney
fair
movies
amount. No
for
Disney
her.
movies allowed for the rest of time. So the next 2 Hunger Games movies weren't received as well.
Is that why?
I believe so.
Really?
R/beating woman was
No.
taken away.
Wow, that's shocking. What a wholesome thing. Why would China get rid of China's all no.
You know what's funny? They aren't showing any of the other subreddits that got banned.
Mhm.
Only the ones where you could be like, oh, I guess I could see why they banned it.
Mhm.
This is a Joss theme.
No.
Let's see, r/dark humor and memes was taken down? Really?
Consume
r/
Don't ask questions, just consume product. Be excited for the next product.
consume product was taken. Dark Joke Central, r/gender
Wait.
critical.
No! r/soy boys is gone.
Yes, it is.
r/Wojak?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. They're just taking everything down. You know Wojak? You know what
The
happened?
horseman thing?
No, Wojak.
No. The meme, you know, the white face man, sometimes with the glasses, mouth. The soy boy meme, the depiction of the soy boy, the graphic.
Jimmy-
You know, I think that
Literally
it is the
Wojak.
Oh,
NPC.
yes. I do know.
Remember the NPC Wojak?
Yeah, I remember. Okay. I didn't know that guy was called Wojak.
Yeah, so
He has a meme.
yeah, that face, that white face there, that is Wojak, and that's existed since 4chan's inception, or
Like,
There
I
are so
close
many
to.
I know, like,
versions of
who this is. Like,
No.
I've seen these memes, but, like...
Variants
I
thereof
just,
have existed for
there's
decades.
a lot. I
Or a
personally
decade.
like the one with all the little stubble.
Oh yeah, the
I mean?
Doomer meme.
The Doomer.
Yeah, Doomer Wojak.
But
Yeah.
you look at these and you're like, why did these get banned? Like, you know, people like Dark Humor.
Yeah.
Cumtown. I don't know what happened r/Cumtown, but
r/gender critical. Weird that China wouldn't want r/gender critical to be there.
But you know, I bet since it's Dark Humor, they probably made jokes about current events such as Black Lives Matter and the protests, and you can't
Committed
joke.
wrong think.
You committed wrongthink,
Yeah.
and you are now banned from the internet.
No.
To
I
be
know.
honest, it's not a laughing matter.
It's not. It's really sad. It's just
Yeah. So
mass censorship on social media.
Well, there's that, but also my whole life, I've always really liked history, like
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And I feel
important.
really bad when all these statues, beautiful pieces of artwork,
Oh, yeah.
took someone probably years to make. I'm not a sculptor, I have no idea. There's not one in every yard, I know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
And really kind of feels bad, man, that they're destroying those. And you know what? They're going past what even makes sense. Because, like, oh, we're taking down all the slavers. Like, listen, their statues are there for other things. It was a different time. But I can understand the mentality a little bit. But you're taking down, like, Native American statues even.
Yeah.
Like, you want Abraham Lincoln to
Yeah, I
get
was gonna
taken
say,
down?
like Lincoln statue. Are you kidding me?
Thomas Jefferson? Like, okay, yeah, he had slaves, but,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Most
give me
of them
a-
did.
Yeah, most of Well,
He also wrote the Constitution that we use as
Yeah.
That gives
the
you the
guideline
right
for this country.
to do that.
yes.
That gives you the right to do that in the first place.
Well, not a right to tear down a statue.
Right to criticize it.
Criticize,
Yeah.
Protest.
protest.
Yeah.
This doesn't get to happen in other countries.
Also,
You get arrested.
I feel like the Civil War is kind of unfairly portrayed. It
No.
wasn't mainly about slavery. For most people, it was about
This-
taxes,
States' rights.
states' rights, and taxes.
Yeah.
So,
But what exactly? So a lot of people say Civil War was about states' rights. So like,
It was not.
were they fighting for the right to own slaves, or were they fighting?
at the time, less than 2% of the southern states owned slaves. It wasn't about slavery.
Nope.
It was about taxes.
Maybe a little bit.
Oh, yeah, obviously, there's a little nugget of slavery
Yeah.
in there for sure, but obviously, but that was not the big deal. The big deal was taxes,
Yep.
and so basically, you had all the people and all like the willpower in the southern states, and they're like, okay, well, we're not going to pay these high taxes. The North had all the money and had all the equipment. They lacked the people. Okay, so they decided that it would be beneficial for everybody if they freed the slaves and had them fight in the military, treated them unfairly still, by the way, didn't pay them as much, horrible stations, stuff like that. But in the end, it worked out because even though we have high taxes, we freed the slaves. I think that's honestly more important, but that wasn't what the war was about.
No.
No, what do you think about the Confederate flag then? Because I personally think, people can fly on their cars or their houses. I think that's part of freedom of speech. You can
Absolutely.
have, you have it on property. I
You
think
fly a flag with a
I don't
penis on
know.
it. That's your right.
I don't know how I feel when it's flown on government buildings though.
So all it means, and this is literally all it means, Southern pride.
I don't know. I feel like
That's
that.
what it means.
I feel like
What does it mean to you?
treason.
Elaborate on that.
Well, they seceded from the Union
Yeah.
and they fought, and they fought a war with the U.S.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
and it's not a U.S. flag,
Yeah.
so
I see where you're coming from there, but remember in the Constitution we have excerpts. Help me out.
Excerpts.
Yeah.
excerpts.
For those types of situations.
Yeah.
And honestly, it'd be nice if we had lower taxes, and that was what they were going for. Honestly, I feel like if they had won, we wouldn't have two different countries. We would just end up with a country with less taxes.
I'd say so.
Like the thing is, like, I know it represents Southern pride to a lot of people, and I understand that. It's just like, and you can fly anywhere. It's just when it's on specifically, when it's flying on government buildings.
Let me ask you.
It's
So
when I just-
when have you seen a government building flying a
I can't think
Confederate
of it.
flag?
Yeah.
Few Southern ones have. I've seen it before. I'll look it up.
Southern pride.
Well, yeah, of course. They're not
Yeah.
going to fly in a Yankee state.
Of course not.
To me, the flag that I think is kind of strictly better, honestly, is the "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
The Gadsden flag is arguably more significant.
I'd rather.
Is that what they call it?
I'd rather
The
government
Gadsden?
buildings.
Gadsden flag. That's the snake and don't tread
Oh,
on me.
really?
To
That's
me,
what it's called.
To me,
Okay.
that's an American flag. To me, that's one of our flags. I feel
Absolutely.
like that can
Yeah.
be flown on government buildings.
Well,
as
a lot of people have a
It's a little
problem with that flag.
Why?
And it's interesting because I know a lot of people that have a problem with it. I haven't heard one statement that made sense to me of why it's
Yeah.
a problem.
Uh,
So we're 31 minutes in.
We are.
I
You
know.
want to do a reset here?
Sure. I can
Okay.
do more
We're
research
gonna take a
on
break.
that. I'm gonna take a quick break.
We'll be right back.
All right, and we're back.
Well, we are back from our little break.
Not that there was any transition whatsoever, because that's how editing works. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
The Gadsden Flag. Yeah.
Say that word for me again.
Gadsden Flag.
Gadsden Flag.
G-A-D-S-E-N. Gadsden.
Okay.
G-A-D-S-D-E-N.
Hold an image of the flag
Okay.
for the viewers.
I will put up the Gadsden Flag. I have one on my wall.
Okay. So you were going to talk about how that's kind of anti-government now.
Yeah, so originally it was more of a, hey, I'm your neighbor, don't fuck with me, and we're not going to have a problem.
Oh, so it was like a person-on-person
It
type
was
of
like
thing.
because it was Civil War era.
Okay.
Now, it's less of an issue, and it's more like, hey, government,
Uh-huh.
let me do my fucking thing,
Yeah.
or you're going to see what the issue is. You're going to get bit.
And let me just say, that's kind of sad.
Which is absolutely sad.
Because they put themselves in the line of fire for
Yep.
that flag.
Absolutely.
Like, the flag was not designed to be anti-government.
Nope.
It was designed to be just a "don't mess with me" flag.
Mhm.
But now the people that are being messed with, it's to them now become an anti-government thing, which is very interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, well, and it's up to interpretation. There's no one concrete
Sure,
definition
100%.
of what it means.
Symbology.
It's a flag. Yeah. But that's core. It's a metaphor for you don't step on the snake, you will get bit.
Have you seen protesters made their own flag? Black Lives Matter protesters. They made their own flag.
Uh-huh.
It's of the fist, for Black Lives Matter. It's grabbing the snake and it's saying,
Yes.
"We will tread."
I have seen that
We'll look it
before. And yes, Jamie, definitely pull that up for the
I'll put
viewers.
up a picture.
So, listen, to me it definitely seems like there's a power that wants the people to fight against each other.
Oh, yeah.
And something like this being created,
It's absurd.
100% just goes
Here-
along with that. I mean, you
Oh,
would
yeah.
have to be almost dumb to look at that and think that, like, that's not designed to make someone your enemy.
That's just to wrestle Jimmy's.
Like,
Yes.
I feel like these people, they made this flag, and to them, it's like their own "Don't Tread on Me" flag. But the "Don't Tread on Me" flag should apply to them and their movement as well.
Sure.
They're full on. We want to go in, force the government to make the changes we want.
Yeah.
Because they're treading on our rights.
Yeah.
There we go.
Why aren't they flying "Don't Tread on Me"?
So I actually
They have
talked...
to be special snowflakes.
I talked to two different people who are all about Black Lives Matter. One of them donates in copious amounts of money every day to Black Lives Matter.
You
And
told me about this.
I did tell you about this.
I'm upset about it.
Yes. So, I actually completely lost my train of thought there. It's really unfortunate.
Well,
Someone just
Okay.
pull me out of here.
Well, it was a person you were talking to.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
This person you were talking to donates to the Black Lives Matter movement all the time,
Yeah,
which I don't agree with,
yeah,
especially that amount.
yeah.
Why would you sacrifice your well-being to donate to something like that? It doesn't matter what the
Oh, okay,
organization
boom, boom,
is.
boom. I just remember what I was talking about here.
Yeah.
So I talked to one of them, and I had mentioned that, maybe change should happen. I mean, I think any deaths that are unjustified are too many. I think that most I'm 99.9% of cops, I think, are the best people you ever meet. I think there are the few that, the more we can weed out, the better, as long as we're not jeopardizing safety or paying other consequences for it, for sure. And I mentioned that, how would Martin Luther King go about this? It wouldn't be violently, you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
And I've actually talked to Black Lives Matter people about this, and they what they tell me separately. They've never met each other.
Yeah.
They tell me you don't know that, and that he would.
That's a load of
That's
crap.
actually a narrative I've been seeing pushed now recently. It's
Really?
like, in order to cope with their actions and what they're doing and to make them more justified, they're trying to say, oh, no, the history was whitewashed, and it was actually more violent than what was originally taught in schools. And they only tell that so that white people can digest the history more.
We have Martin Luther
Very
King
racist,
quotes that literally, I don't know the exact wording here, they literally say that you're accomplishing nothing if you're using violence. I mean, that's literally his stance on it.
To paraphrase, that was
Malcolm X would have been rioting. Yeah, Malcolm X would be rioting.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But, and it's not saying one of them's right or one of them's wrong, one of them's right and one of them's wrong, but the point being that Martin Luther King would not be throwing bricks into windows. He would be
didn't.
peacefully doing it. He didn't do it
Nope.
when America was worse.
That's
we were
true.
way worse at the time.
When
We've only
blacks
been
were
getting
actually
better.
oppressed and didn't
Yeah.
have rights.
We've only been getting better.
Yeah.
It's the honest truth.
That's-
I don't know anybody that's actually racist.
Me neither.
It's pretty good. I mean, you know what's funny is I've seen people on the left post on social media saying, "Oh, the argument for guns is what if the government becomes tyrannical and starts trampling on our rights, and we need to fight back against the government."
Yeah,
like
what if?
They're like, why? They're like, why aren't you doing that now? Why aren't you doing that now? Because they're not trampling on your rights. They're not trampling on our rights right now. That's why we're not. Their way
Not
of
enough.
well, not enough. Yeah,
They are.
their way of coping is to have us fight for them
This is 100%.
because they're so anti-gun.
This
They
is-
need the gun people to fight for them because they think their rights are being trampled
This
on.
is the
No.
boiling frog analogy.
It is.
America is the
It
boiling
is the
frog.
boiling frog. Have you heard
and-
that, Noah?
Remind me, I've heard
So,
of it. But
so
I
how it
forget.
works, Noah, is if you take a frog and you put it in a boiling pot of water, it's going to jump out of the pot. But if you put a frog in a pot of water and slowly heat
heat
it
it
up,
up.
it'll stay in there until it cooks to death.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's where we're at now.
So yeah, because we're just allowing them to take more and more and more of our things, of our
Little
power,
by
of our
little.
rights. I mean, we're willing to go inside our house for months.
Here's the thing. Here's what I was saying is they're not trampling. The stuff that they're fighting for isn't the government trampling on their rights. The government is slowly trying to take away our rights, but they're not the rights that they think they are.
I actually
What?
agree with you. No, I
That's a
agree.
confusing
No,
sentence.
no, it is a
Is it?
confusing sentence. But what he's saying here is that basically
Translate
they're
it
like,
for
look
me.
over here, look at these problems. When they're not the problems from the government is creating other problems like
Yes.
high taxes,
You're- okay.
waste, military-industrial
So
complex.
you're saying
or
that,
guns.
that these people are fighting for the wrong reasons?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all
yeah,
distraction.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all I was saying. Sorry, I was trying to
There
find a way to word it.
There are
You know,
more real problems that exist in this country.
Listen, peaceful protesting worked before. It can work again.
Yeah.
I think that if we just all came out and actually
Gandhi.
went against the real problems here, that's the way to go. And yeah, I mean, this is similar to what happened in Africa. Remember what happened in Africa a little while ago?
No.
What
Which
country?
The
entire continent of Africa.
No, definitely not. You know what? I don't know the individual countries here. There are little countries in Africa where basically
Zimbabwe.
there's like race wars going on right now.
I'm sure lots
There's
of them.
there's some civil wars and all that.
Like
going
where
on.
it's illegal to give white people food.
Oh,
Like
so South
really?
Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bad parts of Africa.
No, South Africa is white people. South Africa was settled by the Dutch. Lots of South Africa is white people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
it's
that's
not
probably
South
where it's
Africa. I
illegal.
don't-
White people food is in northern Africa.
There's a Wikipedia page for racism in South
There we
Africa. Ooh.
Colonial racism, yeah. Dutch
Governmental racism under
apartheid. Apartheid.
Apartheid. Oh my. There's a lot. This is a fucking
Anti-white
huge
violence.
racism
Racism
against
label.
white people. Anti-white violence. This is all pretty recent-ish too. 2009, 14. Anti-white hate speech. Violence against foreign nationals. Racism against colored people as well. There's just racism everywhere in this country. Racism against Indian and Asian people.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
Racism against Jewish people.
I think that if we're
Wow.
always looking at each other for our color differences and stuff like that, we're never going to be getting anything done.
Absolutely not.
We're going to be spinning our wheels, creating like race wars after race wars forever.
Yeah.
And honestly, after
I
the
see the
first
point.
one really kicks off, if anything really bad happens like that, it's going to be a long time before we can get out.
Oh, yeah.
And the government, the media, a lot of portions of them want us to be in that forever.
Yeah.
And they're going to hype it up forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, it's sad where we are right now. I think that if you are a person that actually wants a boogaloo, like you're actually a boogaloo boy, don't go out there with your guns. Probably don't go out there wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Maybe if you want, it doesn't really matter. But the point remains that eventually something will happen with one of you or someone that's pretending to be one of you, and it's going to be really bad. Like, maybe you'll be attacked, maybe you'll have to defend yourself. Either way, that's not how the media is going to see it.
No.
So,
Don't do it.
we're kind of criticizing Black Lives Matter a little bit. I feel like we should explain our issues with them before people just assume we're being racist.
That's true, because I really think that everyone should be judged by their actions.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
not
care
by
what
their
color
skin.
you are.
Yeah, it's
What are you
obvious,
doing?
honestly.
Exactly.
If you don't think that way, you're a hick and get out, basically. Like, literally let them, like, act first and then realize that they're good or bad. And
Absolutely.
everyone has good or bad people, so it's... But,
Content of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Black Lives Matter is fine, but violence is not the answer.
Well, okay, so Black Lives Matter, they receive money from a lot of the quote-unquote establishment, you know what I mean? A lot of, the media really supports them, and if they're supposed to be going against the government and against the establishment, I would expect the opposite.
That's
So-
fair.
And, the pallet of bricks things being delivered everywhere is really weird. I don't know.
Pallet of bricks?
You haven't
Yes.
heard about those.
Elaborate on
This
that.
happened
So,
in town too, actually.
Whoa.
Here.
So in our hometown, remember when there was protests going on in our hometown?
Yes.
It's crazy because we live in a small town.
Yeah.
There was rumors floating around about a protest later that week where Antifa
Yeah.
was going to show up, and people posted on Facebook, like
Yeah.
on the Facebook groups in town, pallet of bricks being delivered to random businesses or random alleyways in town.
What does that mean?
Wow.
Elaborate on
Okay,
this.
so the pallet of bricks.
A literal
Outside
pallet
of-
of bricks.
Yes.
Check it out. Outside of
Okay.
government buildings,
Uh-huh.
important restaurants and stuff like
Yeah.
that, there would just be huge pallets of bricks. No one knows where they come from.
Okay.
People like the protesters are like, this is a setup.
Oh, sure.
The question is, it's been all over the United States
Okay.
like crazy.
So it's been consistent.
No
Yes.
one knows where they came from.
Are these bricks utilized? Or
They're utilized by like
Sometimes.
Antifa to like throw
Okay.
into businesses,
Yeah.
break shit as
It
weapons.
depends. It basically depends. Sometimes people are smart enough to realize that
Don't
you're
touch
being
those bricks.
you're being set up right
Exactly.
now. Like,
Don't fucking.
you
are
are
serious?
meant somebody powerful bought these for you to do this. You know what I mean?
Pallet of bricks. That's
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Sends
End
a
of story.
message.
People in Ramona started catching wind of this. People went on witch hunts for the pallet of bricks,
Yeah.
and everyone got rid of them before the day of reckoning was coming when
Yeah.
Antifa was supposed to come to Ramona,
Yeah.
and they didn't show up.
They did not show up.
They did not show up. There was
Yeah.
plans for it. It was on Antifa's Facebook group for our county as well,
Uh-huh.
protest in Ramona. They did not show up.
Ramona is the wrong place to
I
come
think
to.
they realized that because like
You said Ramona 3 times, 4 to 5 times. I had to bleep 5 times.
You don't have to bleep it. Who
You don't.
cares?
Okay.
You think Hillary doesn't know where we are right now? Think
There's
there
lots
isn't
of
an aerial
towns called
strike
Ramona.
coming down?
Google that. Pull that up.
What did he just say?
He said there's lots of towns called Ramona. Pull that up. Just
Pull up
If I
Ramona.
look, but Google knows where I live, so it's gonna pull up where we
go
live.
to Wikipedia.
It's a novel.
Novel,
Okay,
that's not a
disambiguation,
place.
please. Hello. Go down.
Film, people, places.
Places.
Kansas,
We have-
California, Kansas,
Okay,
Oklahoma,
so-
South Dakota.
There's Oklahoma, that's ours. Okay, yeah,
We're
so...
in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we're in Oklahoma.
I didn't know there's one in Kansas. It's odd, actually.
Yeah, I have a buddy who lives there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. Kansas is cool.
I went there, so
Nothing wrong with Kansas.
I had a free day during my drum corps tour there, and Salina, Kansas was where it was.
Mm.
Got dropped off there. You do your laundry in the morning. You got the rest of the day to do whatever. In the town, there was a very small mall and a water park.
Of course.
It was raining and lightning that day, so the water park was closed.
Cowards.
So we literally
Yeah.
dicked around in a tiny mall for the entire day.
Seriously.
I took a
Yeah.
nap in the mall. It's like so dead in there.
Mm.
I would sleep. My friends and I would sleep on the benches in the mall.
Wow, just like homeless.
Just like homeless people. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was just thinking.
I was away from home. I was technically
You
homeless.
were not homeless, but you were pretending to be homeless.
Yeah.
acting homeless.
Yeah.
I was acting homeless. I was LARPing as a homeless. man.
So, I actually have
Lucky
a quick...
cop didn't fuck with you. Well, it's Kansas.
I have a quick
Kansas.
homeless story, actually. It's kind of funny.
I'm young and look
I
clean.
remember I was like 7 years old, and I see this homeless man sleeping on a bench. My grandma was like, "Oh, you should go give him some money." I love giving homeless people money. It makes me happy, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Fair
I go over to him, and he's asleep. So I'm like, "Hey, sir, here's $20." You know, he's not moving. And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm like, yeah, like looking at her, like, "What do you want me to do?" And she's like, She's like, gestures for me to nudge him. I'm like, okay. I'm like 7 years old. Like, I'm young. You know what I mean? I'm like, sir, not waking up for like 2 minutes. I'm starting to get more like violent with it, right? And all of a sudden, he like pops open like that. I'm like, here's $20. And
Wow.
like, I don't like thinking back on that. I have no idea what the plan was there. Like, that
Yeah.
sounds
dangerous.
very dangerous. Like, he could have been, like, shanked me. Like,
Yeah.
like he could have been like having a Vietnam flashback. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
You don't know. You don't know.
That reminds me of a story, actually. When I was really young, I want to say I was probably like 12, 11. I went to Walmart with my dad. My dad had these restrooms, so I waited outside the restroom for him.
Okay.
And there was a...
Someone kidnapped him.
No, there was a man. He was kind of leaning against the wall. He looked like he was slowly passing out. Maybe he was coming down from a high.
Uh-huh.
And then another guy goes up to him and like taps on the shoulder, like, "Hey man, you okay?" And the guy like springs up. It's like, "Step back."
Oh.
It's like got really aggressive with him,
Really
and then got
tense.
into a minor argument. So I, as a small child, just slowly back away. So I don't remember much else about it. I don't remember if they ended up fighting, but when my dad got out, he saw what was happening, and we just left that area.
Okay.
But yeah, people are unpredictable sometimes, I guess.
You know, I mean,
All the
hard drugs is very sad.
It is sad.
Coming in from other countries, most of it, and it's having a really bad effect on the people. I don't know how many opioid deaths there are a year, Noah, but
Oh, I'd say a lot.
there's definitely a lot. It's
There's
one
a
of the
big
major killers
opioid problem.
in America. There's a huge opioid problem. We know someone who's actually affected by that.
Oh.
And
Missed an eye. Nope,
It'll probably fix it.
Ooh.
2,000 deaths in 2016.
42,000 deaths 4 years ago.
An estimated 4% of opioid deaths,
Go to that
overdose deaths,
CDC
involve
website
a
real quick.
prescription.
Drug overdose deaths.
4% are from prescriptions too.
Oh yeah, people are
In
stupid.
2018, it was 67,000.
That's a lot. That's more.
It just goes up.
Imagine what it is today.
Yeah,
That's 2 years ago.
Well, these are the maps.
it was 2018.
Wait, oh, here we go.
Wow,
Really?
I'm actually surprised.
Wow.
I'm actually very
Save
surprised.
that, because I want to put that up, because that's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I would have
So-
thought.
Arizona.
I would have thought the opposite, almost.
Notice Texas, very low.
Wow,
surrounding
actually,
states
Just like
Surrounding
Texas is
states,
just like
not
this white-
fucking low.
this angel right here. It's
What
just-
is Texas doing right?
the states that have like none are like Texas, Alabama, Nebraska.
North and South Dakota, of course.
Listen, Texas is right along the border too.
Yeah.
That's really surprising.
I don't know if Mexico's big on opioids.
I
think
think
they're
any
more.
drug.
Yeah.
I think the
Florida-
opioids. A
DC
lot
is
of it
big.
comes
Florida
from,
makes sense.
DC
Let's
is
be
big.
real here, but
Even Alaska.
Alaska has more than Texas.
More than California.
Alaska is kind of a.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised about Alaska.
me neither, honestly.
What else
It's
does it
kind of
do
do
there
whatever
other
you
than
do whatever you want
drugs?
land. Exactly.
Yeah,
Libertarian
guns.
paradise.
I don't know. Shoot guns, do drugs,
Wow.
do whatever you want. That's Alaska.
Let's
It's
look
like
at
wilderness.
the marijuana overdose chart.
the what?
Marijuana overdose. How many marijuana overdoses there are?
Dude, you can't spell drug names. You really just can't do
Because
it.
I'm innocent. I don't know how to spell drug names. I've never done a drug in my life.
Yeah.
Never drank alcohol in my life.
You also put doses, not overdoses.
Because I was talking while
Why did
typing.
you delete? Okay, then
Oh man.
overdose.
Well, it doesn't matter because like Google will fix it.
That's the problem.
Can you overdose
That
on
is-
marijuana?
You know, honestly, actually, ladies and gentlemen, that is the problem.
No.
People don't know how to spell anymore thanks to Google.
It's true. No, there's some logic. There's some truth to that.
I challenge you
I give up
to
on trying to
write
spell.
2 paragraphs and put it in Google and see how retarded Google says you are.
I can write 2 paragraphs and have everything spelled properly.
I think a lot of people could. I think a lot of people can't.
But people can't. Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't know, because I actually paid attention in English class in school, and I would do
I
some
mean,
writing.
I did too, but
You
there's
know-
like just certain
I doubt
words I just can't spell. Just
No,
like a
it's
few certain
Opioid,
words.
marijuana.
I
You know-
can't spell marijuana. I can't spell
That's
opioid.
pretty funny. Cursive.
Yeah, that's.
Really funny because
Fuck cursive.
I was taught that in the 3rd grade. That
Yeah.
was it.
I was taught in elementary school, and that was it.
I was taught in the 4th and 5th grade, and like, when you go on to middle school, high school, you're only gonna be writing in
over.
cursive. That's what they told me.
Oh
I
yeah.
go to
remember that.
6th
I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I-
Only cursive from here on out, baby.
We just
I-
aged ourselves, by the way.
I go to 6th grade, And like, all right, we're done. No
Yeah.
cursive. Just write normally
cursive
so I
done.
could fucking read it.
So I actually developed my writing style was like an in between. Like I'll
Yeah.
fluctuate from cursive to normal. And
Yeah.
I write fast. Like I'm like thinking like a paragraph
Yeah,
down. So I'm
exactly.
just like scribble. That's the problem doctors have, by the way. They're all the way down here and they're writing.
Yeah, they're writing up here, but they're thinking down here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've tried to pace
the
myself and like
doctor.
focus on that, but then I
You forget
like,
where you want to write.
yeah, you forget what you want to write. So
Yeah.
it's food. So what I like to do is I like to write a whole bunch and then I'll go back and write it better, or
Yeah,
I'll put it in
exactly.
the docs or something like that.
Stupid people, that's why they're bad at writing. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so what were we going to talk about next?
Let's talk about the police.
You want to talk about the police? That's
I did.
right.
Well,
we talked
actually,
about that.
Well, actually,
So
Well, this ties in with Black Lives Matter.
It
well, the
does.
thing was,
So
I
they're
said
anti-
we should.
Wait, go on.
No, I go on, please.
So the Black Lives Matter movement is anti-police
yeah,
on the whole. Would you
just
agree?
sad.
Yeah. So they want to defund the
Um,
police.
Yeah,
Okay.
anti-police.
That's stupid.
Yes.
The first thing they did in that autonomous zone is establish a police.
Yeah, they
and a border.
established a police force. Chuck.
So,
Chuck. What is
Chop.
Chop. Okay.
Chaz is a strictly better name, though.
Chaz.
I will always call it Chaz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
going
kinda
to be
is
known
better.
as Chaz basically for the rest of the time. Anyway, so the police, lots of police are reasonable people.
Oh no! I thought we were talking about the Chops people.
What? Oh, they're
people.
no. I'm
They're
talking about real police now.
Okay.
I don't really
Yeah.
care about that.
There-
There's a big. So the problem is that you always hear about the bad cops, but you never hear about the good cops because the majority of the cops are pretty reasonable. I mean, at the end of the day, they do want to do their job. I will also say that the police are not your friends, regardless. I don't know if you agree or disagree. That's my opinion.
I would.
I agree and disagree to an extent, I guess.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of that because basically they're your friends depending on how reasonable the laws are. And to be fair, it's our job to make sure the laws are reasonable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that lots of the time they're not.
But like, would I walk up to a cop, shake his hand, ask how his day's going? 100%.
Oh yeah.
I love police. I do that with the military too. I honestly, those people I think are great. But the problem
Lots of the time.
yeah, the problem, yeah, most of the time. Obviously, we speak in, generalizations. You know what I mean? Obviously, there are bad people everywhere. You go to a Shaolin monk place, and there's going to be, like, a person that's, like, a
It's got to
shithead.
be a bad one.
There's going to be a bad one.
Absolutely.
But, I feel like they've gotten a bad rap, and I feel like it's going to be really hard for these next generations to get cops. I feel like they're not going to want to be police officers.
That's true. If you wanted to be a cop last year and you're still not, chances are you don't want to be a cop anymore.
Yeah.
After what's happened.
Huge amount of, like, the old cops are retiring right
yeah.
now because they can.
Alabama.
There's been major police walkouts, like,
Huge.
all over the country right now.
Yep.
I don't
If
think it's just
you-
old. I think it's even younger.
Well, yeah,
cops.
but
Yeah.
the old people are especially doing it because
Oh,
they can
yeah.
retire. So they're like, we're
Exactly.
set now, you know what I mean?
Boom.
The younger people are literally like, okay, I'm going to find a new
I guess
career.
I'm going to lose my fucking
because-
career now
yeah,
because I don't want
I'll
to die.
just hard reset because,
Yeah.
I've talked to, like I said, I'm going to try and get in the head of these Black Lives Matter people, these types of people. And what they say is the police officers get brainwashed to be racist. My question every time is, well, what about, the black police officers? What about the
Asian police
Yeah, what about the Asian police
Indian
officers?
police
The minority
officers.
police officers.
Mexican police officers.
Which they actually look for, by the way. Like,
I
it's harder
would
to become
imagine.
a white officer than a black officer.
Yeah, because of the stigma.
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually try and hire different races. But,
No, yeah.
But, they always say that, well, then they're able to resist it so they don't become racist, but all the white ones are racist. I've been told that.
Absurd.
First of
That's
all,
a racist statement.
that's a racist
That
statement.
is a racist statement.
Very racist.
Yeah.
Also, go over to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old who wants to be a fireman and wants to be a cop or something like that. Do you honestly think they want to do that because they're racist?
No,
What about the
fuck no.
people that their whole lives were like, I want to be a cop, I want to be a cop? Imagine how they feel right now.
Terrible.
Terrible. 100%.
Your lifelong dream
Yeah.
is now a shit career
Yeah, it's
in the public eye.
probably one of the worst careers pay-wise.
Yeah, it doesn't pay well.
You don't get paid well.
No.
You don't get treated well.
Nope.
You know what's funny? I hear the argument that, like, well, police officers, they're undertrained. They should all be wearing body cams. They should all
They
have
are.
this. They should all have that. More or less.
When's the
But,
last time? Sorry, when's the last time you've seen a cop that wasn't wearing a body cam?
I mean, I don't see cops every day.
I see them frequently.
Okay, I see them in their car, but there's no way for me to be like,
Okay.
you know.
Well,
Yeah.
Noah works at a gas station. I worked at a gas station for a year.
Yeah.
Every single cop that ever came in, body cam.
sure.
Yes.
I think in
Every
some
single
states it's law, some states it's not. But the point remains that this is what they want, right? I think honestly they all should wear them. I think 90% of them do, or there's a high percentage.
Absolutely, most of them do.
Yeah, you
But-
should absolutely. I
yeah.
think
I'd be
they
willing
should
to
all
bet.
wear
But my
them.
point remains that their big argument is they need more training, they need more structure, they need more things like that.
Sure.
So why is the solution to take money away?
That's exactly a good question.
How does that make
So
sense?
what they're
Doesn't-
saying, I'm not going to defend this, but what they're saying is we were going to take money away from the police
Uh-huh.
and put it into poor communities. Because the
Yeah.
reason there's so much crime there
Yeah.
and police arrest so much there is because they're poor.
Mhm.
Which,
Well, they
was-
want to put into like youth centers and things like that, which historically have not gone over well.
it doesn't matter how much money you're going to put into a community. It's
Yeah.
going to be up to the people in the community to make it a good place for
Exactly.
people
Yes.
to want to move into
Yes,
and live
listen,
in.
Exactly.
Listen, the economy in the local area is large. It's huge because it's going to decide whether some people are going to be drug dealers or businessmen. It really will. But at the same time, you could have the best economy in the world in an area, and it could still be riddled with crime.
Sure.
Just because you haven't changed the mentality of the area yet.
People want to commit crimes. They're going to
Yes.
want to commit crimes.
And you know what? More law discourages that.
It's sure.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side of that,
Uh-huh.
less law encourages that. You look at the riots and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
People have shown up from like out of state, out of town, just to go loot or whatever.
Yeah, that's...
So because the cops aren't doing anything about the looting, like in
Yes.
Seattle,
Yes.
people came from out of state.
Please
Or at least
pull
out
up
of town.
the police commissioner later in the video who was talking about how all the people they arrested were from out of state.
Exactly. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is that less law also encourages crime
Yeah.
because they want to take advantage of the chaos.
Yes.
It's a double-edged
And
sword.
you know, a lot of people get videoed when they get arrested, and it's like, well, why did you do this? And the answer, and I love their honesty, I really do. I appreciate it because they could create so much more turmoil. They don't say because George Floyd. They don't say because Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
They don't say because police brutality. What they say is they wanted to rob the place.
Yeah.
And that's obviously bad. I respect the,
Respect the honesty.
I respect the honesty. I love honesty. I mean, because they could be like, because George Floyd, and the whole
Yeah.
media could get behind him. But instead, either because they don't understand that that's how that's going to go, or because they're just honest people. Maybe they are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't lie about it, and that tells us the mentality.
But do honest people steal?
No.
Well,
Yeah. It's
Okay.
fair.
what?
I got nothing to say. This is just
Okay.
like this whole
You
situation.
don't have, you don't
just
have an
sucks.
opinion on that?
Well, on cops in general?
Sure.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Do you think there should be any change in our police system? I think something I've seen people push for, I think, is cops being able to say, hey, buddy, that's too much force, or hey, I don't think you should do that. I think
They
they should
do
be
do
more
that.
encouraged. They should be more encouraged to do that because with
Yeah.
George Floyd, there's what 4 other officers,
Uh-huh.
and none of them spoke up.
3 or 4.
If one of them spoke up, this whole thing could have been avoided. Like,
Yeah.
hey, lift your knee off his neck. He's probably not breathing well.
If he wasn't on fentanyl, it could have been avoided.
It could have been, but still, that doesn't justify the officer's use of force.
No, absolutely not.
No,
But
of
still,
course-
you know.
But
Of course not.
my
Listen.
point is, real quick, I don't think he would have died if he wasn't intoxicated.
Yes, I think he would have had a higher chance
That's
of
all I'm saying.
living.
Agree
Should
with you.
should there have been a police officer on his neck? No.
No.
But if he wasn't intoxicated, I don't think he would have died.
There's actually, apparently there's, from what I heard, there's a way you can put your knee on or near someone's neck and not be choking them. There's a certain...
I don't know about that.
I don't know, I heard something
If
about
you're
that.
putting your
listen,
body weight on a neck,
at the
it's going
time,
to cause
at
damage.
the time in the area, that was a legal maneuver to do for a shorter period of for like not as long as he did it for.
Yeah.
So obviously, that cop knew that individual. This was not
Yeah, they did know each other.
They knew each other for a long time, like 10 plus years. I think it was 19 years actually.
A long time.
They knew each other for, and basically, this was not a police officer versus person incident. This was a bad person purposefully doing this to somebody, I think.
Yeah, I'd say the cop was crooked.
That cop was definitely crooked.
Yeah.
The people there, that whole, honestly, it was a very sad thing that happened there. But this was an isolated incident.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had the amount of people wrongly killed by police has been going down for years now.
It's pretty low, all things
yeah,
considered.
it's already, they have millions of interactions every day with people.
Yep.
And almost none of them end violent. And
Exactly.
and the ones that do are almost never the police officer's fault. It's a
Yep.
very stressful job.
Oh, yeah.
We're never going to achieve perfection in anything.
It's impossible.
Especially not that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Human error
Yep.
is always a factor, always
Yes.
will be.
I mean, if you're somebody that when you get pulled over, you just start immediately going through everything in your car, imagine how the officer feels. Like, what are you reaching for? What's he going
Exactly.
for? Honestly, if you're being pulled over, hands outside the window.
Hands outside the window, or on the wheel.
Or on the wheel.
On the
Yeah.
wheel.
Those
For
are
me,
the
it's on
two-
the wheel.
Those are the two big
Yeah.
ones. My grandfather was a cop. He said they love it when you put the hands outside.
Yep.
Because it's like a total respect / like what
Absolutely.
could I possibly do right now?
Exactly. You can see my hands.
Yes.
Or I
Yeah.
just leave on top of the wheel. You can see my hands. And I go,
You know, if you guys want to if you're being pulled over and you want it to be a better experience, do that.
here's the protocol, real quick. We'll go through this. So if you've been pulled over, whip out your license, whip out your insurance.
When they ask you.
Whip it out before they even get to your car, and have it ready, and then put your hands on the wheel. That's
I
it.
would disagree with you because
Why?
you're messing around with stuff trying to find
Before
your
they
car
get to the car.
Yeah, so they're walking over to the car
Yeah,
and they see
what are
you
you gonna
moving
do?
around like this
What are you
from the
gonna do?
back. You could be reaching for something.
Okay, and
I-
they have time to prepare for that because they're not at the car yet.
No, hands down. You want to have your arms outside or on the wheel. When they come
man.
to you, they come over, they ask you
Just
for
get
it.
the
You say,
papers.
yes, sir, pull out your wallet.
So they're
pull out the
okay.
card.
When you're pulled over, lots of the time they'll sit there for a minute. If they book it over your car, then sure, don't touch the papers yet. But I'm saying when they're on their way to the car or they haven't gotten there yet, you have time to go grab the pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Have the pieces of paper ready before they get there.
I don't think you should do that.
I think you should do that.
Okay, well, listen, either way, your whole goal the entire time should be making them feel as comfortable as possible.
Exactly. Just present yourself as a non-threat.
Yeah. And you will have a better experience.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, actually. And probably,
Totally.
maybe, if everyone did that, there'd be a little bit less wrongful deaths.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Something I was thinking about is there's actually quite a few people in the black community that you ask, are you afraid for your life when you have an interaction with a police officer? There's quite a few of them that will say yes.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
And this is all comes from the media blowing these things
Media
out of
hype.
proportion, making
Yep.
them seem like they happen every day,
Yes.
that cops are committing genocide on black people.
Nope.
And now when you have people extra nervous when a cop is approaching them, the cop's going to be more suspicious for them and it could just be, I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Yeah,
You're saying that basically because they're nervous, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Yes,
because they're
exactly.
nervous, they're more likely to be killed.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
They're
there's-
more likely to do something that's going to make the cop on edge more, and therefore be a little more hard on
Yeah.
them.
there was actually
Or like, what are you
You're-
hiding type in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
mentality.
exactly.
this is a good little interaction. It's not a good interaction at all. That's the point. But 2 year ago, there was a man getting arrested in a hotel. He was in a hotel hallway, I believe, and he had tripped and fallen while he's been arrested. So they said to keep your hands on your head. And so he's panicking, obviously, because he's fallen over. He's being arrested. He wasn't being violent or anything, this man. This is a kind of bigger dude. And cop has a gun. And he's like, you put your hands on your head. He's trying to get him to comply. But the thing is, the man's pants had fallen down. So eventually he goes to pull up his... No, it's not funny. It's sad because he goes to pull up his pants. He gets shot. Because they thought the police were nervous. He was nervous. He was acting kind of on edge because he's trying to comply, but he's been tripped and his pants are down. And he's panicking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to pull up his pants. He gets shot. And he dies.
Listen, if you're ever, whatever the situation is, if you're ever really nervous or scared like that, take a
Breathe.
second, breathe,
Yeah.
think
Breathe.
about it. Almost no cop is one of those one of those bloodthirsty cops like
Yeah.
in the George Floyd case.
Yeah.
Almost never happens. You're more likely to be hit and killed as you're being driven to the police station.
If you
Exactly.
ask cops, they say they're here to help.
Yeah.
They're there to protect and
theory,
serve.
yeah.
If you go with that mentality, the cop is here to help. The cop's concerned about something. You're gonna be fine. Just stay relaxed, and you should have no issue.
Just comply with the police. That's all
Yeah.
you gotta do.
Not complying will lead to issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
'Cause-
shame about
Why wouldn't you comply?
exactly. It just
The
just
story,
makes
yeah,
things worse.
Listen, the story you were saying, or like the more nefarious stories like the George Floyd and all that
Yeah.
stuff, is really sad. I mean, but
Yeah.
the thing is I don't. We have a lot of police officers in this country. I'm not saying we should have less. We should maybe have more. I don't know exactly, but
It's
we
I
have
know
a
about
decent
more.
amount of police officers right now, and it's so large scale. There's always going to be incidences where things like this are going to happen with any profession, with any race,
Exactly.
with any credence. There's going to be that.
It's human error. That's how it is.
It's human error. Exactly. Can never
Um,
change that.
Guess how many police officers there are in the U.S. How many do you
Total?
think there are?
Shit.
I don't
I
wanna
know.
sound
I looked this up
stupid.
recently.
You did?
Mhm.
Fuck. I
Okay,
couldn't
well,
put a
hold on.
number
How many
on it.
people are in the United States?
350 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's 350 million, I'm going to say that there's 75,000 police officers.
I'll say
I,
30K.
Okay.
it's more.
Really?
800,000.
I was really close.
We have 800,000.
Wow.
About 12% of those are female, also, apparently.
That's an interesting percentage.
I feel like I've seen more women cops. Maybe it's just
Where
our
we
area.
live in particular, there are a good amount of them. It's interesting.
Hmm. I'm
Well-
not against it. If they're able to do the job, then they can do the job, I
Yeah.
think.
I'm just going to say this. This is not a sexist thing,
Mhm.
but
Sounds like this might be a sexist thing.
you might this may be construed
Guys,
as a sexist statement.
Guys, I'm not racist,
But-
But
But-
no, this is just a coincidence. So I had gotten to know lots of the law enforcement officers working at that gas station for a year. You also probably know a lot.
Yeah,
of
yeah, I talked to them.
Yeah, you've gotten to know some police officers right now.
Anyway, so it was
Yeah.
a year and a half ago. I guess I quote unquote got pulled over. They just wanted to tell me that my gas cap was open, but it was 2 cop cars actually.
Okay.
One of them was just a lone woman cop, and the other one was 2 officers, male officers that I been acquainted with
Oh,
at the gas station.
Okay.
They recognized me instantly,
that's cool.
and the woman was being almost rude to me,
Uh-huh.
and the other dudes were kind of laughing, having a good time because they were like, "Oh, you got a new car? That's a cool car. How long?
Mhm.
You know, what year?" And the woman was just being rude. And I
Your
was
car is really cool.
thank you.
You got a nice car,
It's a
though.
cool car,
We'll
but-
agree. Both your cars.
Thanks. But yeah, the other cops were because they knew me. They're like, "Oh, cool car, man. And what year?" It's in really good condition. And the woman was just being kind of stern and rude,
Okay.
almost rude. And it was odd.
You know what?
I'm not saying it's because she's a woman, but I was also not as acquainted with her.
But it's because she's a woman.
It's not because she's a woman, but it's just a coincidence is that the female was being more rude to me. I don't know.
My
It's not. I don't know. I'm not sexist.
my theory, my headcanon here is that maybe she was newer on the job or new to
That's
the area.
entirely possible because I didn't really recognize her. I may have seen her.
How
once.
old did she look?
Could have been later than mid-30s. She was younger.
I mean, yeah.
The other ones are dads. I know for a fact one of them was a dad.
Oh, okay.
So
A lot of cops.
What makes
are
dads so base?
I don't know because they're. I have an opinion on that actually. I think it's
Okay.
they have their life has peaked, so to speak. They've had a kid, and at that age, in this particular case, their kid is mostly grown up or has grown up. So they're in the mentality of like, okay, cool, I can go back and do whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
I don't have a
as a human, they fulfill
agenda.
their purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
As a
I don't have an
human,
agenda to fulfill anymore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can just go say cool things.
Yeah, I've heard like fathers that are like that. They can relax a bit more. And
Yeah.
I've also heard of parents that almost miss the experience of parenting. So then they'll try to have another kid, or if
Yeah.
they're too old, they'll adopt.
No. I feel that doesn't happen as often though.
It doesn't happen as often,
No.
but I know a few cases where that happens. Some couples just really like that experience
Sure.
of raising another human.
Some people hate it.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
What's
I
the
would-
time
Can you
there,
bring me
Noah?
water?
Those are both. All 3 of those have been consumed.
There's actually
There's
some
one
water
that's
in this
like
one.
Okay.
What's the
one
time
of
there?
those is mine. Time we are at.
Yeah, we should be able to see that at all times.
We're at like 40 minutes, so like we're like hour and 10 so far.
All right. Well, let's stop here and do one more.
Stop here.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. We are back in part 3 of the trailer take,
Episode 1.
episode 1.
Episode 1. Take 2 because our first recording of this didn't go well.
No, it didn't. But it's okay.
Yes.
And we recovered.
So we were talking about
Talking
dads.
about dads. Don't have one.
Why are dads
Thoughts?
generally?
I had a dad. I also had a
That's
stepdad.
Why are they
have a
generally
dad.
so based?
Why are they? We talked about this.
Oh, okay. We talked about this in the other part. I don't know if that was off air or not. Let's just hard reset this one.
You think so?
It's too
Yeah.
late.
No,
It's
it's
too late.
not.
We're going. We're still going. It's
No,
not
Why is it
stopping.
good. We
too
said how
late?
dads have fulfilled their purpose in life, so to speak.
Okay.
So they could do whatever they want.
You have to hear what happened last. I didn't have that advantage, sir.
Well, neither did I. But he did
Oh.
state what happened. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
you have a dad and
Okay.
a stepdad, but you don't talk to your stepdad.
No.
Yeah. So you have a dad.
I have a dad.
That's reasonable.
And he's pretty base.
Yeah.
He's teaching me to drive right now.
Yep.
Which
Cool.
I very much appreciate. He's
Yeah.
a very good driver.
I'm
Had a
not
lot
going
of
to teach you how to
experience.
drive.
I mean, he used to be a cop. He had a lot of experience driving,
course.
doing that, I guess. And
Yeah.
also,
That's what you do.
Yeah.
he got his trucking license and drove trucks professionally
I did not
for
know you had a
a while.
CDL. That's cool.
He,
That is really cool.
I want to say for like almost a decade. He
Yeah,
drove trucks.
usually people, when they get into that, it's either I'm done after 5 minutes or this is my fucking life for the next decade.
He did that for
No, seriously.
Yeah.
probably close to a decade,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he still works at the same company. It's just in dispatch now.
Oh, okay.
I think because you make more money and the hours are more consistent.
Yeah,
so
well, it's just easier. He's
it's
getting
easier.
older.
Yeah.
You know, that makes sense. But I've talked to a lot of truck drivers because I used to work at Tractor Supply Company,
Uh-huh.
unloading freight. 5 in the morning, you talk to a lot of truck drivers, and lots of them, the vast majority, are really cool people. I met maybe 2 that were assholes.
Okay.
The rest of them, really cool people.
So I don't know if you know about this. It's basically a lot of people think this. I don't know if it's true or not. Do a lot of truckers abuse drugs in the night to keep driving?
No.
No. Okay.
I feel like that can happen, but I don't think it's an epidemic.
course.
It definitely has happened, obviously.
Absolutely.
But, well, you're saying you've met a lot of truckers.
I have met a lot
and
of truckers.
You've never got the vibe that they were on any kind of hard drug.
One of the rude ones, maybe.
Okay.
All the other ones that are reasonable people,
Uh-huh.
maybe they have energy drinks. Other than that, no. Totally
Yeah.
don't fuck with drugs. Don't at all get the vibe from those people.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're really nice people.
A lot of truck drivers seem like really honest, down to earth people.
They definitely, because
Well-
lots of them that I met were not from California or Oklahoma or whatever. They were from out of state.
It's interesting how political truck drivers get, because you wouldn't
Sure.
think that way. But they go out, they support their candidates, they honk the horns,
It's
they
true.
block roads sometimes. I mean,
Well, lots of them. We'll use California as an example. Lots of them don't want to go to California, and the reason is that instead of 75, the highway speed limit for them is 55,
Oh,
and
Really?
they don't want to fuck with that.
yeah,
Yeah, they
Makes sense.
Fair enough.
on highways they have to go 55 miles per hour, no faster.
that adds up.
That's why truckers don't want to come to California,
Okay.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
right?
It's just less efficient.
It is. Just, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, they're paid the same though, right?
yeah.
Probably.
I
Well,
guess
do
if
you
you're
want?
used to 75?
Let me
though,
ask you this: do you want to be in a truck longer and make the same amount of money,
It's the same amount of money,
and you're on the job longer?
like per. Okay, so it's actually less money at that point then. There's more time,
Do you
right?
get paid hourly?
Are
Or
we
by,
talking
like,
hourly?
delivery?
Is it
how
like
does
a
that
commission thing?
Asking me all these questions. I'm not a trucker.
Work? Talking about trucks.
You brought
Well,
up the truckers.
I have thought about becoming a truck driver.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see you being a truck driver.
I do love
On the
driving. I
road.
like driving. I
You
do.
Fucking blasting AC/DC.
Oh yeah,
while
Boomer
driving.
Rock is mandatory
Boomer Rock.
in
Back
the
in my
truck.
day, we called it Dad Rock, and then
Dad
the Boomer
Rock.
meme came around.
Listen,
Boomer Rock.
We'll call it Dad Rock.
Boomer
I like
music
dad
and
rock
dad
more.
music is the best music, and I
It's good.
challenge anybody to debate me on that.
Because you're
it's-
secretly a boomer inside.
You are a
You're
Boomer.
actually Trump as well.
Yeah,
Look at him.
Zupan, he is Donald
I don't
Trump. We
think
actually have
that's-
Donald Trump on our podcast right now. Look at him.
No,
Could you say you're fired?
you're fired.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Shark Tank.
Wow.
But I don't I don't remember exactly how truck drivers get paid. It's either hourly or they get paid per load that they haul.
I know a lot of
I
them are
don't recall.
commissioned per load, and it's just you make this money flat.
I
I've
think
watched
it's a-
Alaskan truck drivers.
Yeah,
I know
it
that
depends
much.
though. Whatever company you're with, what you're
Yeah.
hauling.
Yeah. If you're
What
per
kind of truck?
hour, I say just cruise along 5 miles an hour. Say you got a flat tire and call it a
Well,
day.
they know they have GPS. They know where you are.
All right.
And you have to log where you've been.
Yeah.
So, the fuck is that?
It's a robotic beaver. Wait, it's a computer.
That's gross.
That is gross.
Someone built. We are looking at a picture of someone.
I'm not even gonna put. Okay, we're moving on from that.
Now hold on. There is
what?
two different things that people could be thinking of when we
okay,
say robotic beaver.
the animal.
Yes, we should be certain to say that this is
Yes.
an animal that has been carved up, and it's pretty gross looking.
Appears and put him. It's gross. Anyway,
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
That's gross.
you don't
I
want to
know
see.
why I
I'm
brought
not
that
gonna
up.
put that up. You probably can't even put that up.
I'm not gonna put that
I'm
up.
not gonna put that up.
We're just gonna.
Why would you even pull that
Have
up,
we
Jamie?
ever-
Jamie, why would you pull
I
that up?
accidentally
Why-
clicked on Facebook, and it was the first thing that popped up in my Facebook
Well, accidentally
feed.
clicking on Facebook was your first mistake.
Using
Having Facebook was my first
Facebook
mistake.
heard me.
You want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about Google listens to everything you do?
They're listening to us right now.
So
My phone just.
I actually,
vibrated.
I
So
know,
mine. All our
Whoa.
phones just went up.
I have not.
Oh.
I know a person.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Okay,
I know a person, and I always knew like I'd be talking about something a little bit later. It'd come up on your phone. I understand the extent of how bad it was
Oh, it's real bad.
until I saw someone pull up their phone, say cat food in it all throughout the day. They went on their Facebook, and
Cat
there
food
were cat
advertisement.
food advertisements. Wow.
What? I don't know if I told you guys this, or one of you tried to debunk it, but I park on the road outside my apartment
Okay.
complex.
All right.
My actual parking spot is my other car.
Okay.
So every day I park on the road and I walk back into the complex.
Sure.
And I walk by the same like 10 cars every day. It's consistent wherever they're parked. One of them is a Civic that has a bike rack on it.
Okay.
And I walk by that Civic almost every time I park.
Uh-huh.
A few days ago, I saw an ad for that exact bike rack
Okay.
on the internet.
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding.
And for the record, how long has it been since you've actually used a bicycle?
I have never used a bicycle. I don't use bicycles.
Yeah.
I never mentioned bicycles. I never talked about bike racks or that bike rack up until
what
that
is-
happened.
What is the theory? How do you think that it knew?
I have no idea.
Do you think you
I'm
pulled
just
it out
near
and
it.
somehow saw that?
I
What-
maybe have once or twice been on my phone walking back from my car, but I'm very rarely on my phone in public
Yeah.
when I'm walking around.
We're not the typical Zoomers here. We
Exactly.
try and-
I'm on my phone
define.
often, but I mean I have it on me.
Yeah.
But I see that's the thing. I have no idea how it knew because it was the exact bike rack that Civic has on it.
So
The
for
same exact one.
So my Christmas was coming up, and
Yeah.
I was asked what I wanted. I wanted a keyboard and a mouse. I forget the company, but
Yeah.
I had I had asked. I think it might have been Logitech, but I'm not going to 100% quote on that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I had asked my grandma about it, and she's like, okay, we'll just keep your eye out for a good deal and stuff like that. Never go on Facebook. Someone asked me to friend them. I'm like, okay, go on
Yeah.
Facebook. I now have ads for the literal keyboard and mouse in the same package.
Yep.
Whoa.
About a week later.
It's no joke.
It is no joke.
They read our minds. at
It's
this
just
point.
the
It
bike
should
rack
be
gets me,
against
dude.
the law. I do
Oh,
have an
yeah.
expectation of privacy, and no one reads your giant ass contracts. You do that on purpose.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they
No,
wanna-
I challenge you to find an Apple or a Google employee that has read any of their terms of service all the way through,
Yeah.
except for whoever wrote it. And even
Maybe
then,
multiple people wrote it. Maybe it's not meant
It's-
to be read.
it's not meant to be
Yeah.
read.
The government should be protecting us in those scenarios. We should be.
Yeah.
It should be obvious. There should be a setting that legally has to be turned on or off for them to be taking our information for this.
Yep.
And freedom of speech. Just like the NFL. The NFL is a monopoly. We allow it
Yeah.
because it just makes sense. We allow Google. We allow Facebook to be Twitter to be these giant monopolies. These mega houses, mega powerhouses here, and
Mega corporations.
major corporations here that should be broken up, and we don't restrict them like we should. Freedom of speech should be a huge thing on there. It should be It should actually be difficult to be taken off of those platforms. It shouldn't just be because they feel like it.
Well,
Trump, our
it is.
president,
Yeah.
President Trump, whether you like him or not, being taken off temporarily off Twitter
He's
should
been banned off
worry.
Twitter.
Yeah, should worry every single person.
Oh,
Just like
yeah.
the doctors, just like anybody that that has any kind of an opinion here in any kind of platform that's against the mainstream, you will be taken off.
Yeah.
And it should worry you. And even if right now you're 100% aligned, you're not always going to be that way. And freedom of speech. Seriously.
Freedom of speech is
fight
important.
for it. We give them the monopoly rights.
That's the problem, though, is that these terms of service say we can just kick you off if you wrong think.
Yeah.
Like, these platforms are the new public square, I've said before.
They are.
Like, this is where ideas are traded. People discuss important topics in politics.
Yeah, it's kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
And now everything's just becoming like this just like tunnel of information. There's nothing going
Echo
in.
chamber.
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah, we've heard that terminology a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it's true.
Very true.
It's true.
It really definitely hits home because that's how it is. You
And
know, you go ahead.
Okay, so that's the thing is these are private businesses running these websites, correct?
Yeah.
And they make you sign the end user license agreement, the terms of service, so they have the right to do that, but it's unethical because they shouldn't have the right in this case, because like you said, that this is the new town square, if you will.
Yeah.
So censoring that is really just immoral. Even though it is in their legal right to do so.
It shouldn't be. The government should step up and say, you're not allowed to do this.
That's true, but
it's their job to protect consumers.
Here's the other thing, though.
Yeah.
Let's say we're on Facebook, right?
Sure.
And I say a racist message. Like I say, I'm going to use white people because I don't want to get any hate here. Let's say I said, all white people are racist, they're bigots, and they're privileged, right?
That's fine.
Hold on, though. Someone could look at that and they could be like, okay, well, first of all, you're racist for saying that.
Sure.
Second of all, blank, blank, blank. And actually come up with reasonable rebuttals to what the person is saying.
Sure.
And if enough people are doing that, that's how you change minds. Because if you just ban that person, they're done. Now, they're always going to be that way. They're always going to think that way.
Yeah.
And nothing can ever change their mind. And I don't see anybody really debating with people that aren't really similar to them in the real world. How we find people that aren't is pretty much online. And if we're doing that, especially if we're targeting people, because it's interesting, personally I think it's not the liberals being targeted. They say it is, which is interesting because these different groups are saying that we're being targeted by it, so we should all be against it no matter what. But we're not.
Yeah.
We should say we're not going to be using your platforms anymore because you're doing this. I haven't opened Facebook in months.
I didn't use it either.
Yeah, I opened it because an Australian asked me to friend him, and I said okay. Before that, maybe years, I hadn't opened it.
Australians.
Australians do.
I've heard people say like these websites should be able to have terms of service that say what you can and can't say. And if you don't like it, you should make your own social media platform. But
good luck.
But good luck with that. Like,
it's too late.
It's too late into this industry. It's
too
late into the game.
That's
so basically,
the problem.
There's two avenues here. The government needs to step up either way. Avenue one is to say, unless extreme conditions, you can't just start banning all these people. Cut the amount of banning down to 5% of what's happening. Or number two, break up the monopolies. And I bet if they even threatened it, if they said, you know what, Facebook, you know what, Google, you know what, Twitter, you know what, Reddit, you know what we're going to do, you know what you're going to force us to do, we're going to break you up. And good luck with that. You know what I mean?
The companies would respond with a good luck and continue doing what they're doing because they're too big. That's what I think would happen.
Well,
until the government absolutely brought down the hammer, they're going to continue to do what they're going to do.
I remember when they had Zuckerberg testifying, he seemed kind of worried.
Because he's a cyborg. He's not a human. Look at him.
He's either a cyborg or a lizard man pretending to be
also,
human.
Cory Booker has scary eyes.
Very scary.
Yes.
Put a picture up there.
Gavin Newsom.
Governor of California.
California.
Booker?
Scary.
Cory Booker, that's...
Booker DeWitt.
Find a picture of Cory Booker that doesn't unsettle you.
Exactly. Look at him.
Look at that!
Oh, man.
You think that's not a robot?
Dude.
You think that's not a robot?
He's a lunatic.
Oh, my God.
Look at that one. He's such a hypocrite, too.
Listen, no matter what, he doesn't have something that we do. And that is a fact. I mean, that...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at this man.
Yeah, I don't know about him.
put up just multiple images of this
Oh,
man.
we'll go back to that one. Go back to that one.
Wait, hold on. This one?
No, the
This
one.
one?
Yes. Look at that.
Go save that.
Yeah, we're gonna need that one.
He's such a hypocrite.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
Like, I don't want to get too political, but like he would talk about gun control and
Yeah.
he'd be like, he's basically because he's a Democrat. He's the type of. Did you just save that file as a WebP?
I did not.
Yes,
Google
you did. Yeah, I hate you, Google. That's not a real image file format. Just use JPEG.
Wait, hold on. Is there a way for me to...
It doesn't matter. You can convert
Who was the guy that went to Texas and he was like, "We're gonna take away your AR-15s"?
Oh,
Soy boy.
Yeah, the Democrat guy.
okay, everyone already forgot him.
Hell
because-
yes, we're gonna take AR-15. See,
Yes.
no one knows the name anymore
Yo,
because I just
type
said
in that
that.
quote for me. Type in that quote for me. I
Hell
wanna see
yes,
it.
type that in. Hell
Okay,
yes,
so
we're
why
taking
are you trying to
AR-15.
get the name? Do
There it
you
is.
know that he... What's his name?
Beto O'Rourke.
He
That's it.
changed his name to a Mexican-sounding name.
Yes,
That's
he
racist.
did.
But also, do you know that he wrote short stories about running people over and fantasizing about it, and then ran somebody over?
Did he really?
Yes.
Whoa. Oh, that's true.
He
Yeah.
ran somebody over.
Yeah.
He ran a teenager over.
Yeah, he did.
But his daddy has billions.
He is an actual
Well,
criminal.
What I like about... What was funny when this happened, he said this, right?
Yep.
And all the Democrats and everything, they were like, oh, no. He's revealing our plans. He's blowing his
Well,
load
yeah.
way too soon. So you know what they did?
I mean, yeah.
They
that's
brought
what-
him on CNN and and they tried dismantling his arguments. Like, oh, if you try to take away everyone's guns, you may start another civil war.
Sure.
CNN did that. They did that specifically to help take him down because they don't want him exposing, on purpose or not, what their plan is.
Yeah.
They want to take.
Well, they don't
want
care
to
now.
disarm the populace.
He's throwing the frog into the boiled water. He's
Yeah.
just throwing
It's
it in
kinda
there.
It was a little too hot. It wasn't even.
Yeah.
It was a little too hot. Frog's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's so warm. Warm. Turn the
I'm gonna
hot
jump
tub
out of
down,
this guy.
bro. Yeah, maybe not.
Just okay, hold on. Imagine this. Imagine if it came out that I wrote short stories about running over teenagers and then ran over a teenager.
You're going to prison.
You're going to jail. Like,
You're done. It's over.
You know how easy it's going to be them to plead their case. Like,
Yep.
here is his short story.
Here's
Judge wants
his
to go take
motive,
a
sir.
read.
And Beto O'Rourke, not in prison.
But you know what? Billions of dollars.
Billions. Very
God.
rich family.
If only you knew how bad things really
Yeah,
were.
Beto's a criminal. It doesn't matter because he dropped out.
Yeah, he did drop out. I saw a video recently where protesters were saying Bernie Sanders 2020.
Okay.
First of all, I actually really like Bernie Sanders supporters.
His supporters.
Yes, his
Expand
supporters.
on that. Expand on
Elaborate.
Here's why I like his supporters. Most of them realize, like, they want the revolution, right? I don't agree with what they want, but here's the thing: they see Bernie Sanders getting screwed over and taking it, and it pisses them off.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, remember when the DNC last time? Remember this time?
Yeah.
Like, what is like
Riding with Biden.
riding with
Ooh, yeah.
Biden, dude? And you know what? Like, Bernie Sanders, I mean, listen, he's not the pick I would choose, but his supporters, like, they don't go with it. Like, when he's like, okay, Joe Biden, they're like, really? You want Joe Biden? No, we're not going to pick Joe Biden.
There-
We're going to go independent.
were-
We're going to go here, whatever. You know what I mean?
There
But
were
they
like
split up at that point.
the thing is like whether you like the candidates or not, there was a few Democratic candidates that might have had like a better chance at taking down Trump, but they chose Biden. Like even liberals hate Biden.
Exactly.
Okay,
Like
so-
no one likes Biden
so-
except for really old
senile.
boomer
So I actually,
Democrats.
I had the hard read that Biden was going to make it when they were all running. When it was like 45 people, it was crazy.
And you thought it'd be Biden?
I talked to some Democrats about it. I was thinking it was be Biden, and for whatever reason, I've just been pretty good at calling it so far. And I was like, you know what? I think it's going to be Biden. And I was like, how do you feel about that? Because it's like Democrats, they want somebody young. They don't want experience because they want the baggage. They choose Joe Biden. You know what I mean? I talked to people about that, and they're like, well, if he wins, I'm going to be very upset. I'm not going to vote for him, stuff like that. I've talked to those same people. Seems like they might vote for him now.
Yeah.
Point remains, though, this is not what their party wanted.
No. Which
Nancy
surprisingly.
Pelosi is not what their party wants.
Yeah. I'd imagine not.
But
But Joe Biden?
Okay, who's the...
Pete Buttigieg. I'm surprised he didn't get anywhere.
Who is the guy... Schumer.
Schumer?
Paul
Schumer.
What about Schumer?
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer, sorry, not Paul.
Chuck Schumer is probably the scariest person on Earth right now.
He's spooky. Look up Chuck Schumer.
Yeah,
real
look
quick.
up Chuck Schumer. I want to see a picture of Chuck Schumer. I'm ready to have bad dreams tonight.
Exactly, yeah.
Go ahead and look that up.
Chuck.
Chuck.
It's not how you, it's not,
Schumer.
there's no I in Chuck.
There is no I in Chuck. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
my god, he looks like
Look
the
at the
devil.
full
Look at
body
him.
ones, by the way.
He is.
Try and find one of him like
literally-
full body.
I probably won't.
He
They probably
curves
ban.
like a snake.
There's one next to
does.
Nancy Pelosi.
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 I like Pelosi.
I like
I want that to
Pelosi.
catch on, actually.
The Russian word
Wait,
for strike.
right next to Amy Schumer?
Yeah, Schumer.
You
it's
don't
funny.
know they're related?
Hello.
Are they actually related?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Wait a minute. Hold on. There's some fuckery going on.
Oh,
it's all
yes.
connected. It's all the information's out there.
Yes.
You just gotta
So
look
he's
into it.
connected
Do
to
you
Hollywood.
think a woman this
He's
unfunny could ever get national TV otherwise?
Seriously. How do you think Amy Schumer is famous?
I watched one episode. I think I've
Some people just
lost
had bad sense of
50
humor. and they
IQ
just-
points.
I mean, the American populace is stupid, but come on.
No, I've lost 50 IQ points.
We're not that
100%.
stupid.
Look at this man.
Right?
Look
Can
at
you call
that.
him a man,
That's
dude?
the picture. Save that one.
That's the one.
Scary. Scary.
Oh man, this.
Okay, so I do want to talk about one more thing that confuses me. And
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not hating on Democrats here. I am confused, though.
Okay.
And that is, I don't know if you guys have seen this. The last Joe Biden rallies, they've only been able to get about 4 people to show up.
Yep.
And let me just say, by the way, that if I was holding a campaign and like low people showed up, I would tell all my staff members to get in the audience.
Go
My
chill in the
theory is
seat.
that nobody showed up and those are his staff members.
That's a fair theory
I
because
don't
there
know.
are 4 people.
Either way, there's 4 or 5 people. Like, there's a picture.
You're probably not going to find
I'll
the image
show.
on
Yeah, it was
Google
hard
anymore.
to find. I'll show you.
but
It's where there's
we
empty
have
seats
it.
and they're all like 10 feet apart for
Yep.
social distancing.
4 people.
My question is here. Okay, so if the Republican Party is losing this badly, right? Just like last time they're
Mhm.
losing badly. My question is, where is the enthusiasm for Biden?
Exactly. Where's the big Biden support?
Non-existent.
It's non-existent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Biden until today hadn't gone out and done a speech publicly besides in his basement in 83 days.
Whoa.
83 days. Yes.
3 months.
Months.
What's funny is when Trump had his last rally in Tulsa, my dad and I sat down and watched it. We tuned into CNN to see what they were saying about it before it even started. And they were saying, oh, look, like the top seats aren't filled in. It was mostly full, but it wasn't quite full, so they're making fun of that. Like,
Well, you know why that happened, right?
well, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
We found out pretty quickly that there was protesters, quote-unquote protesters, outside blocking the entrance in.
Yeah.
So people couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And eventually security said, fuck it, we're not even going to try at this point. We don't want to start an all-out like fight over here. So they just let the protesters do whatever and no one
Also,
can get in.
there's actually a bigger reason, too. That is a
I
thing.
thought
There's
he
a
was like,
bigger
oh, he
reason.
knows. You don't know.
I do. Okay.
I
so-
don't know, tell me.
Hit it, Zuko.
What if I told you that AOC admitted that they purchased all the Trump tickets, and that the Trump was not able to sell tickets after the first couple days? It sold out faster than ever, and every seat was paid for.
Yep.
What? Zoomers sabotaged Trump's rally by reserving tickets.
AOC.
Claiming teens on TikTok and K-pop fans sabotaged Trump's rally and left seats empty by reserving thousands of tickets with no intention of showing
Now,
up.
I assume if you
Wow.
reserve a ticket, you pay for the ticket.
Yes, you do.
So, listen, I
That's
think
Trump
that this
money.
is an incredibly effective way to definitely make Trump look bad. You should definitely continue
purchase
to
those
purchase
tickets.
all of those tickets.
Yeah.
Um,
Very detrimental.
and you know what
to
he's
the
going to have
Trump
to do?
campaign.
He's going to have to just keep doing more rallies because he's not going to be able to get anybody to him.
Yeah.
And this is hilarious.
It's so good.
I like how this article specifically says teens on TikTok and K-pop fans.
Yeah.
K-pop fans organize
K-pop.
this.
Yeah.
K-pop.
Why?
Kids-
Does K-pop
Zoomers.
do K-pop fans not like Trump?
That, I would imagine
I think
not.
Zoomers
I think
don't
they're too
generally
young
like
to even
Trump.
understand politics.
Yes.
Well, obviously they're not too young to grab their mommy's credit card and purchase a Trump seat.
Boom.
Doing their civic duty.
Well then.
Which it is, honestly.
Sure.
That needs to keep happening.
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely.
Do that.
Keep doing that.
Keep doing that. Keep fighting the good fight for
Yeah,
us.
Good fight.
Oh, you know what?
Good
You know what I
Connecticut.
bet? If they're not careful, though, I bet other people are going to start, like, reserving, like, Biden seats.
Oh no,
They're going to start
That's-
purchasing
that's-
Biden seats.
I'm not give Biden a single cent
I'm just saying, like,
from my
if
wallet.
the Republicans started doing that, that would be a real problem.
It would be.
I think they're too smart to do that.
Whoa, what do you mean?
I don't
It's
know.
a great plan to buy up all the seats.
Yeah, it's a great plan.
Great plan.
Yeah, but you're giving Biden money.
No, that's not what it's about. The
No,
publicity.
it's about the message.
He already has infinite money. It's about the message.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
About
fair
sending a
enough, fair
message.
enough. God. If only you knew how bad things really were.
Yeah.
If only anyone knew.
Well, some people know.
Some people.
Some
do
people
know.
knew.
I think we know.
So here's
we have an
another thing
idea.
I
We
want
don't
to talk
fully know.
about. A lot of people, including me, for a long time, looked at America as this indestructible giant of industry and military strength that has its problems and that rights and taxes are too high. Yeah, but it's the juggernaut that will just never go down. Right? America is how old? 280
200
years.
change.
Yeah,
America's
200
a really young country. All
America
things
is
considered.
crazy young.
Yep.
There's some people that have been alive for almost half of America's age.
Yeah.
Like 1/3 of it. You know what I mean? Like they've
Yeah.
seen everything pretty much.
Mhm.
Like, or their dad did. Like they were there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to stop. Like Rome lasted 1,000 years. Anyone want to bet America's gonna last 1,000 years? I don't think so.
I
Who
hope
knows?
so.
Not
but
that I would love it.
would put money on it.
I wouldn't put any money on it.
No.
Mostly because I'd never get the money back because that's 1,000 years from now. Pretty much
Exactly.
lose either way.
Of course.
But
Your ancestors your children's
Children's.
yeah, but at that
children's
time
will
the
get
Fed
it.
has devalued the dollar, so you've actually just like gave them
You've
like
actually
50
lost
bucks.
money, yeah.
You've actually lost money. Yeah.
Imagine.
They owe them money now. Actually,
even in
Yeah.
100 years, what the dollar will be worth if America still exists.
Welcome to the bubble.
Yeah. I mean, it's already, what, like 10% of what its original purchasing power was?
Really?
It's really, really low.
I believe
Wow.
it. I
There's a
believe
good
it.
graph. It's actually kind of fun graphic where it's a dollar bill, but the it's also a chart. So the line goes down, it cuts off the like physical dollar bill,
I'm
and
not
so it
gonna-
started up at the full dollar bill. Now it's a really tiny sliver of the full dollar bill.
Wow.
Dollar bill value put.
Listen, I'm not going to get into this now,
It's
but if you're actually interested in learning about this, look up how the Fed started.
kind of like that.
Just
Yeah,
do-
there's this one.
Whoa. Ew.
Oh wait, that's euros. What? No, get that crap out of here.
Why?
Is that-
Euro
Who's
board.
that commie?
Who's that?
There's
Oh,
literally a commie on my
one
screen.
mark. Interesting. It's just like anyway. So it's just like
but
that.
look up how the Fed was started.
The Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
Oh
Look up
yeah.
how it was started. If you do that, you're going to go down a rabbit hole.
That's
Oh, yeah.
pounds.
That's
Yeah.
pound. Go search value of a dollar graphic.
That's the way I look
You've
at
worded it wrong.
You know what?
I mean, imagine
I
if
am
it wasn't
tired.
government owned. Right? That'd be crazy.
That would be
That's how,
crazy.
that's how tired I am. I spelled graphic wrong.
That's how bad at spelling I am.
It's just whatever. You get the.
They're,
Wish I was that
they're
bad at
trying to
spelling.
censor off.
You know what?
yeah,
You,
obviously.
sir, will put it on the
I will
video
put the
for
correct
us.
one up there because
will
I'm going to be
find it.
editing it, so it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
You will find it because
Okay.
I can't.
So,
They don't want you to know.
let's talk.
Values worth
Let's talk
nothing.
my favorite kind of cars, electric cars.
You are serious?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk electric cars. They're
Gonna
not my
say.
favorite
We're
kind
going
of
to talk electric cars.
car.
Okay.
So, there were. This is definitely your area.
Sure.
I'm just going to kick it off by saying, are they worse for the environment?
Worse. Debatable.
Okay.
Bad.
Yeah. Okay, so what is bad? Because it's electricity, so like we get a clean source and we.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
That's so. What
yeah.
you'd think is, oh, I drive this car. It doesn't cause any emissions
Yeah.
as I'm driving this car,
Yeah.
which is true.
Mhm.
But you have to look at what is your car powered by? Lithium batteries.
Okay.
You have to look at where is that lithium being harvested
And
from,
how well do those degrade?
and how well do those degrade? How do you dispose of lithium?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where? Okay. So that's pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go to charge your Tesla. Where is that electricity coming from? Coal plants.
No.
Coal-powered plants.
We don't. Still,
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not nuclear powered plants?
because people are scared of
Good
nuclear
question.
energy.
I've always been pushing for nuclear energy. I think we should use it.
Some of the smartest people are. It's very clean. It just wasn't done well in the past.
Once,
Yeah.
like I
Chernobyl.
see how when it's first
Chernobyl.
built, how like that's kind of like okay, well this
That's
is
a
now
long time ago,
substances that are bad for the environment can never go away. But also like as long as we maintain them and do our due diligence. Like, is there any more effective clean energy? Like, is solar power, wind power?
Wind
solution
power is
to
actually
this?
grossly inefficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because the fans all have
turbines.
to be changed out? Yeah, the turbines.
It's just not worth it.
Okay.
The production costs and it's just not worth it. Solar power is better than
That reminds me of something
turbines.
funny. I remember in our town we were having blackouts, and people were really surprised that because solar is the craze now, that suddenly everything wouldn't work despite they have solar power because they don't have generators. They're just hooked up to the solar to the power company.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think it's a good idea to get solar either way because I think that you can get money from it and it's better for the environment.
From a consumer standpoint, it's great.
But
you save a lot of money.
But honestly, if you have the funds, get the generators.
Get a generator.
Because then wouldn't it be so nice that when everyone else's house is dark, their fridges are going bad, all
your
this
freezer's
stuff.
still running.
Your freezer's still running.
Yeah.
If something really bad happens, like you're in an area that's rioting, you gate off everything, you are fine. You can flip on the news, watch whatever you want to watch, hang out, invite people over, shoot some pool, whatever you want to do.
All the important stuff.
All the best things in life.
I love playing pool.
Pool's fun.
Pool is fun. I wish I could play it more because I'm not good at it. I would like to be
can
better.
Why can you not play it more? What's restricting you?
I don't have a pool table.
There are multiple bars in our town.
I used to clean up at my school.
Only had a license.
And I mean that
drive
way.
to
If only.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Before
What were we talking about?
we were talking about
Electric cars are not the way.
Electric cars are not the way.
At least not with lithium.
Okay.
Nuclear, maybe.
Nuclear maybe, but has anyone ever made an electric car that doesn't need a battery? Like, how would that even work?
Possible.
That's not possible. So
Current technology.
Yeah. Like I
The
can't,
most efficient batteries are still really bad for the environment.
Yeah, because what do you do after they go bad?
Throw them in the ocean, idiot.
Throw them in the ocean. You
Yeah,
sell them to China. Have China throw them
China
in
throw them in the ocean.
Have China quote unquote recycle it.
Yes.
It's going in the ocean.
Yes. Which actually brings me to the blue bin cults.
I'm sorry?
The blue bin
The
cult.
blue bin cult.
That's what I call it.
Are you talking about?
Okay.
Elaborate for us, please.
Yeah.
So, do you know the blue bins that are outside houses?
The
and stuff?
recycle bins,
Put the recycle bins in there. Okay.
This is gonna be good.
So, I believe it's like 2007, 2005, somewhere in that era when
When it was getting big.
Basically we were selling all the recyclables to China.
Okay.
And the issue being now, and they took a certain tolerance, like because sometimes there's going to be trash in there, some kind of sticky residue, stuff like that. So they had a certain amount of tolerance for that. If you put too much trash in there, it goes to the trash instead. Now the tolerance for it is so bad that almost all of them go directly to the trash.
I think I've actually heard of that.
Which is why if you want to recycle, take it to the place, get some money for it. First of all,
cans, bottles, etc.
Cans, bottles, all that great
CRV.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
can
kind
actually
of thing.
be recycled. That's a great idea. But like the blue bins, almost never gonna do anything, and that's it's very sad. But that's the current kind of economic war with China.
It's true.
Yeah, as the environment
that's-
suffers.
It does, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of more again like a human error thing. Because if those blue bins were used exactly how they're supposed to be, then that probably wouldn't be a thing.
Well,
'Cause there
also
wouldn't be
though,
trash
like,
in there.
okay, also like let's say like this
Or are you
beer,
talking
right?
about they changed the criteria?
They changed the criteria.
Oh, okay.
They brought the
Oh.
tolerance for what else can be in there way down. For instance, this
So-
bottle,
yeah.
it has
It's a glass
a
bottle.
label on it, has a little bit of residue in there, a little
Yep.
bit of sticky stuff.
Yep.
Same with like this, right? What's this? See this?
Yeah.
Label.
More plastic.
Yeah.
It's more plastic, but it's not the right kind of plastic.
That's true. It's a different type.
So basically, nothing that
So
you're
it's not eligible.
Nothing is eligible.
Yep.
No, like almost. I think I'm almost willing to say that no blue bins actually get recycled. Might be true. It's
I'd believe it.
it's
Not a
up
claim.
there though. It's up there.
Sure.
And if you guys actually want to care about the environment, bring it to a recycle place.
Yeah.
Get some money. Go
Sort
to
it.
lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's free.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Gas money to get
Yeah.
there.
That's why my mom and I did growing up. We would
Yeah.
save up all the cans, bottles. We'd take my grandma's, some other relatives who were too lazy to recycle it themselves. Then we go there, cycle, get a lunch.
That's
all the day.
another thing. People talk about laws that like it's the economy versus the environment. But you know, there's a
That's just
Okay.
interesting statement.
That's a lot of like in our area. That's kind of how like I see it. A lot of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of a triangle. I think it's the economy, the environment, and the people. Because you know what, you now like you've heard about the blue bin thing. Go research that. Go see how many blue bins make it to the recycling. It's not great, and realize that
Well, it's
if you actually care about that, and you actually are going to be supporting things like the Green New Deal, whatever it is your deal is here, make sure that you are living that as well. That's that, like, because I care about the environment, so I think that you should be definitely. It starts at home. I think all the great movements, all the great Renaissance, all the great enlightenments start at home.
Yeah, but if you're doing your best and they're still, like you're saying, just throwing away the recyclables anyway,
that's why you take it to the place.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been doing that for a long time. Information, it's an information warfare.
This is the info war.
I think that might be a good place to end it off on that statement right there.
Fair enough. What, has it been 2 hours now?
Yeah.
Feature-length film?
Yeah.
I guess we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gentlemen.
Sir?
This has been the trailer take. Your hands are very sweaty.
Very sweaty, sir.
Very sweaty hands.
Sorry. I was resting my hand right here, and whenever I'm gripping something, my hands get sweaty.
I didn't do that at you, though.
Good. Well, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one. Why are you so sweaty?